I went to see the Necropants, so you don't have to. And if you're someone who's never heard of the Necropants, prepare to be confused and or mortified. First of all, just so everyone is clear, yes, the Necropants are exactly as they sound. Necro, related to a corpse or death, and pants are, well, pants. So, in other words, I went to visit a pair of corpse pants, and I'm going to tell you all about it. You're welcome. Back in the before time, when one could travel freely without concern for a certain pandemic, I found myself in Reykjavik, Iceland. Iceland, of course, has many natural wonders to behold, but they also have a couple of very peculiar museums, like the Icelandic Punk Museum, which I went to visit, or the Phallological Museum, which I very much did not. But there was one museum in particular that I coveted above all others, and that was the Museum of Icelandic Sorcery and Witchcraft. I wanted to see this museum so badly that I actually rented a car and drove 3 hours there to Holmavik and 3 hours back, completely alone in a foreign country. Because, you see, I knew that the mythical Necropants lived there, and I had to see them. Once upon a time, I even won a little magnet of the Necropants for answering a question about them correctly at a trivia night hosted by Atlas Obscura a few years back, so you could say that I've been a fan of the pants for some time. But past the pants, I had no idea what to expect upon arriving at this mysterious museum. And mysterious it was. When my GPS alerted me that I had arrived, I thought for sure that I was lost because I didn't see any obvious signs for a museum of any kind. What I saw instead was a restaurant. I was confused and, again, in a foreign country 3 hours away from my hotel, so I decided my best course of action was to go into the restaurant to ask if they could help me with directions. But as I approached the door, I saw a piece of paper taped on the door that said something to the effect of, "This is also the Museum of Icelandic Sorcery and Witchcraft." So we are clearly off to a magnificent start, and this was the instance where I knew that my little road trip had now turned into an epic adventure. I entered the restaurant to see what looked like a pretty normal place, honestly much more bubbly than I'd expect from a restaurant that fronts a witchcraft museum because there were bright red tablecloths with white polka dots on every table, and overall it just seemed like a quaint little diner. Completely bemused by this entire situation, I approached a counter near the back of the room and told a staff member that I wanted to see the Witchcraft Museum, to which he just nonchalantly handed me an English-speaking guidebook and gestured me toward a nondescript hallway as if this whole situation was completely normal. I walked down the hallway toward all the usual hallway things, bathroom, office, etc., but then I entered the back room, and the first thing I spot is what appears to be a box of human hair to the wall on my left, because I have eyes like a hawk for hair. And then I spot further down on the left-hand wall was the famed Necropants themselves. But before I can get to either of these items of intrigue, I must first pass the Invisible Boy. That's right. In a tall clear box immediately ahead of me stands an invisible boy, as indicated by this rock that he's holding, which is very clearly and obviously not just a rock suspended by a wire. So now I see fully what I'm up against. This is a place that is as kitschy as it is witchy, and it's bordering on camp. And I'm not even someone who usually enjoys kitschy tourist destinations, but I had just driven through mountains and volcanoes, over lakes and along oceans to get here, and there is just something uniquely charming about this place, so I am strapped in and ready to have the witchiest and kitschiest time of my life. Now I know you're all dying to hear about the corpse pants, so I won't leave you in suspense like this rock any longer. The Necropants, or Náubrók, I think, in Icelandic, are an artifact of a spell which was recorded in an Icelandic grimoire long ago. Now, we've already discussed the where and what the pants are, so let's discuss the why of the Necropants, because... why? Well, money, of course. Okay, so you may be saying, sure, money is great and all, but what makes a person believe that this is their best option for making money? Well, allow me to set the scene for you. Iceland in the 1600s was the picture of wealth inequality. Nearly all of the land and resources were controlled by a single family, and with Iceland being quite remote, trade with other countries was not an easy feat. Therefore, for the lower class, the economy was quick to stagnate, and it made it virtually impossible for anyone outside of the single, semi-noble family to accumulate their own wealth. Which brings us to the Necropants. Are you poor and being stifled by the wealthy upper class? Do you feel like you don't have fair wages or a realistic chance of upward mobility? Why not try a witchcraft? That's right, a witchcraft. With a witchcraft, you can gain unlimited riches for the low, low price of having to wear a dead guy's skin as pants for the rest of your life. What a bargain! How to make the Necropants in 7 easy steps. First and foremost, if we are going to be witches, then gosh dang it, we are going to be respectful witches. You can't just take any old stranger's corpse and flay it to create a pair of Necropants. No, you must gain permission from the subject of your pants first. And although there are spells for raising the dead, I'm afraid that necromancy will simply not do here. Consent is key. Step 1. Get permission from a living human to make them into Necropants after they die. Simple enough, right? Hey, Royce! Can I turn you into Necropants when you die? So is that a yes, or?
I don't care.
Yes. Step 2. Wait for them to die. Hey, Royce, are you dead yet?
Afraid not.
Step 3. Dig up the body. Now, young sorcerer or sorceress, this next step is tricky. So even if you don't get it quite right on your first try, fear not, for not even I have perfected this step yet. Step 4. Flay the skin of the dead body from the waist down. But be very careful, for you must leave the skin completely intact. Not a single nick or tear is permitted. The skin must be all in one piece. Step 5. Put on your new Necropants. If all of these steps have been carried out correctly thus far, the Necropants will then bind to you. Step 6. Steal a coin from a poor widow on a Christian holiday such as Christmas, Easter, or Whit Sunday. Sorry, I guess witches can only be respectful up to a point. Step 7. Put the coin in the scrotal sack of your Necropants. Now you simply go about your daily life while the pants work their magic. The stolen coin will continually multiply, and you will have yourself an endless supply of money being generated in the nether regions of the Necropants. Important considerations. If you fear you may be close to death, or if you've already made all the money you could ever want, it is time to find a new owner to take on the pants, for you cannot die while wearing the pants, lest your body be infected with lice and your immortal soul doomed to eternal damnation. Nor can you simply take off and discard the pants, because remember, they are one with you from the moment you put them on. The only way to gain a peaceful death and or simply rid yourself of the pants is to pass your necropants on to a new owner by doing some pant exchanging gymnastics. You must pull one leg out and let the new owner step into that pant leg before you take your other leg out. But remember, it's human skin you're dealing with, and you can't let the skin tear, so be careful. The Necropants will continue to generate scrotum money for many generations of wearers. So now that we've had a little bit of fun, let's talk about the Necropants in the museum. Namely, are they real? And no. Fortunately, or maybe unfortunately, they are not real. In fact, they were created by an artist and special effects designer. I have no idea how to pronounce these Icelandic accent marks, so I'm just gonna put his name here and down in the description. It's such a jarring image and utterly bizarre story that people tend to believe it without looking too closely. And I can hardly blame them. They are not easy to look at. But if you do look further, there are a lot of details that don't hold up to scrutiny, such as the toes that don't have any separation at all, or the leg hair, because seriously, have you ever seen someone with leg hair that looks like this? Honestly, it may have been even more realistic if they did use human hair when making these. Food for thought. It is extremely unlikely that the Necropants actually existed outside of folklore. There are not, nor have there ever been, any known authentic Necropants. And I think I know why. Remember when I told you about the extreme wealth inequality in Witchcraft era Iceland? Well, it turns out that most of the spells recorded in the Icelandic grimoires were designed to bring wealth to the caster, and the Necropants were, well, really difficult to pull off. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so that you can be notified when part 2 of this video comes out, where I will share with you my favorite Icelandic witchcraft spell, which involves the use of human hair. Please let me know in the comments what you think about the Necropants. Are you shocked, appalled, intrigued? And leave a like if you learned something new and or the video left you completely mortified. Either way is fine. A huge thank you to my supporters on Patreon who made this video possible. I'm sure you never expected your name to appear in a video about Icelandic corpse pants, just like I never expected to stay scrotum money on the internet. But here we are. We've all made choices that led to this point. Bye, witches. Am I actually gonna end my video saying bye, witches? Yeah, why not?